Somebody need to get your boy Malik Yoba. He tripping again. Now available in paperback and e-readers. John Haynes, A Thorn in My Side. The man who rules the world takes on an agent from the CIA, from the Black Boule, in this all-new John Haynes series adventure. Get your copy of John Haynes' A Thorn in My Side in paperback and e-readers at online booksellers everywhere. Better get the coleslaw, y'all, cause we're having us a barbecue. Actor Malik Yoba says he no longer identifies as a black man, but identifies as a non-white man.
So, what's up, America? I decided that I'm no longer a black man, no longer a person of color, BIPOC, none of that shit. What I am is a non-white man. And I think we should all just start calling ourselves non-white. So, they're gonna have to figure it out. And just say that shit explicitly. No DEI, no BIPOC, no references to our blackness. So we just all walk around like, I'm not a black man, I'm a non-white man. I'm a non-white woman. I'm a non-white, all of us. Asians, Latinos, black people, everybody. Call it what it is. I'm just non-white. And let them rebuke that. Let them refute it. Let them come up with something that just says, we like all non-whites. Excuse me. We don't like all non-whites.
Now, in a recent video that Malik Yoba posted on social media, he stated that he no longer identifies as a black man and is now calling himself non-white. And he says he's calling himself non-white instead of calling himself black or a person of color, and says that every minority, including Hispanics and Asians and Arabs, should call themselves non-white so that many of the white racists can try to figure it out as related to them expressing their racism. Now, this whole statement by Malik Yoba is basically showing me how completely Arkham certified he is and how completely out of touch he is regarding the subtle politics transpiring as related to the system of white supremacy. Now, when it comes to the system of white supremacy, they've already had it figured out ever since they came to this country, because they basically, the whole foundation for their whole system is anti-black racism. And since the foundation for their entire society is anti-black racism, they don't need to figure it out. They already know what they're doing, and you calling yourself non-white will not stop the anti-black racism. Now, what really shows me how completely just unhinged Malik Yoba is that he's thinking that he can go out here and call himself non-white and think that he's going to have allies coming to his aid from these other minorities such as Hispanics, Asians, Arabs, and every other minority. However, what he doesn't understand in the system of white supremacy as related to the whole pyramid scheme of white supremacy is that all these different groups that he's trying to call himself be a part of a non-white group are all anti-black, and with them all being anti-black, they are not interested in having a black person have the position of being non-white. No, what they want to do is basically jockey for a place in that pyramid scheme of white supremacy where they can get close to whiteness and be able to receive the benefits of the goodies, giveaways, and guarantees that the white supremacists will allocate to them if they go out here and oppress black people and keep black people at the bottom of that whole pyramid scheme that they have established. And that's what Malik Yoba doesn't really understand about this whole system of white supremacy. And no, if it doesn't matter if you as a black man try to change your identity in that system of white supremacy, that system does not acknowledge you as being non-white, because that whole system is anti-black. And with that entire system being completely anti-black, they have no interest in looking to bring you into their group as a non-white person. No, because they already identified you as black, and they have no respect for you as being black at all. And what Malik Yoba is participating in is another part of that whole system that bootlicks participate in, because what bootlicks love to do is talk about being a part of other minorities, when the whole system of white supremacy, again, is all about oppressing black people and keeping black people at the bottom. No, that when they go out here and they talk about all of marginalizing people, it's about, again, finding ways to exclude us. That's why the whole plan for DEI, or diversity, equity, and inclusion, was never really about us foundational black Americans. No, when it came down to things like DEI, it was all about trying to find a way to go out here and make a passive, empty, symbolic gesture, but aggressively continue participating in the anti-black racism that many of these corporations and other political spaces participate in. And that's where Malik Yoba gets it all twisted about DEI, the same way he got it twisted regarding those individuals who are men who like to dress as women, and saying that those men who like to dress as women are women. Again, this is where Malik Yoba got it twisted as related to that whole situation, and he gets it twisted here once more. He gets it twisted here once more, because in this situation, again, he's looking to, again, be a part of that whole group, but that group never accepted black people and want nothing to do with black people. And when it comes down to Malik Yoba, he's still, again, looking to, again, have conversations with these individuals in an amicable way. But the whole thing is, when it comes down to these groups, again, this is all about anti-black racism, and there's no having a conversation to, again, expose these underlying biases. These biases have been expressed blatantly and directly to foundational black Americans for over 400 years, but sadly, many black people, like Malik Yoba, really don't want to see the bigger picture regarding the just open anti-black racism that is done every day to foundational black Americans. And calling yourself anything other than black is just you denying the racism that's going on. And that's not how we go out here and fight anti-black racism as related to this whole situation. No, anti-black racism has to be openly called out, and it's openly called out by foundational black Americans. We are the ones who call it out, not by calling ourselves non-white, because, again, people called people non-white way back in the 50s during Jim Crow. They called a lot of people like Hispanics and Asians and Jews and Arabs and many other people non-white, and again, still participated in their open racism of those who did not want to be a part of the pyramid scheme during those glorious days of the 50s that many white racists call them in their golden age. And when it came down to that whole situation, many of those same minorities, again, turned on black people and went to oppress black people the same way that many of these racists did, hoping to be able to create a covert contract where they could be a part of the smooth world with those white people and fit themselves into the boxes that would make them acceptable in that pyramid. And along with those people, you would have spellbound individuals like Malik Yoba looking to fit themselves into a black box that would be acceptable to those white people, again, by denying their blackness, and by denying their blackness, hoping to be a part of that whole racial pyramid scheme and hope to be assimilated and accepted into a society where they could be higher than a second-class citizen that and be in the place that black people were at the bottom of the world. And again, the whole thing with Malik Yoba is his whole approach is just completely backwards, because you cannot deny being black, because this white supremacist society will show you how black you are every time. It has happened to many biracials who go out here and try to pass. They soon find out how black they are. And those black bootlicks who go out here and look to deny their blackness by identifying as something else soon find out how black they are. So the whole term of calling yourself non-white basically is something that only many bootlicks and shills go out here and do, because they want to be a part of the system of white supremacy. It is not something used to go out here and combat the system, because those ideas that Malik Yoba has are just completely backwards. He's sitting there thinking, oh, Hispanics, Asians, and all these other people are going to go out here and call themselves non-white in order to expose racism when they receive benefits from the system of white supremacy. They receive benefits from that system, so they've got no incentive to go out here and call themselves non-white. No, oftentimes back in the days of Jim Crow, it was racists who called them non-white, and again, they basically they've already figured it out. So he's sitting up there talking about, oh, they figured it out even before you were born. That system of white supremacy figured all of this out. But what we who are part of black empowerment have to understand, not figure out, but understand, is that you cannot go out here and try to make any sort of negotiation with this system of white supremacy. No, you cannot negotiate with someone who, again, has nothing, wants to see you in a bottom place in order to maintain their smooth world and make up their own reality and make up their own stories. This is where Malik Yoba gets it all twisted. He's thinking that these white supremacists, again, want to see black people in their world. No, they only put a couple of bootlicks and shills in places to get people to invest in their system of white supremacy. Again, this is what they figured out. We'll get a couple of bootlicks, we'll get a couple of shills, and have them push a narrative and push a message that will allow people to think they can be a part of this world, of the system. And the whole thing is, you buy into this and think, oh, I'll call myself non-white, and you'll be fooling yourself, because that whole system, again, it identifies black people, again, the descendants of slaves and of people who were the ones who built this country. They want to keep those black people at the bottom of the world, because they know that they could not actually compete against those black people. And by keeping those black people at the bottom of the world, it allows them to maintain the delusions of power that they have and maintain the system based on it. The lies they've told themselves, that's what they want to maintain. And sadly, Malik Yoba, again, doesn't get it at all. And again, I thought this was a self-aware brother, but the more he talks, the more out of touch I see he is with reality, because the whole term of non-white, again, was used to originally describe minorities such as Hispanics, such as Asians, such as Arabs during Jim Crow. And those people, basically, when they were non-white, saw acceptance by the same oppressors who participated in anti-black racism. And at the end of the day, it was all about, again, making black people the ultimate one that they were looking to target and profile and looking to go out here and oppress. So I'm not going to sit there and call myself non-white in a society that participates exclusively in anti-black racism and is supported by those who want to go out here and support anti-black racism, because saying that you're non-white is basically living in denial of the system of white supremacy, the global system of white supremacy, which openly participates in anti-black racism and wants to, again, participate in anti-black racism, because the whole system of white supremacy cannot function without anti-black racism. It cannot operate without anti-black racism, because without there being black people to be the ones to target to be at the bottom of the world, none of these people can stay on top, because if they had to actually compete with black people in a system of justice, America would wind up, again, a divided country, but that economy would be one where blacks would basically be controlling the economy of $3.3 trillion, and also have a nation that would be on the level of Japan within the nation of the United States. And many of these other groups would be struggling because most of them make their money off black people. If it wasn't for black people, many of these people would not be a middle class. Many of these people would not be able to send their kids to private schools. If black people focused on ourselves and basically look to not even involve ourselves with other groups, black people would again be one of the most dominant nations in a nation. And again, this is what we would have if we had people who were self-aware and not like Malik Yoba. Malik Yoba sadly shows me how completely out of touch he is with reality. Out of touch with reality because they don't care if you identify as non-white. They see you as black. And because they see you as black, it doesn't matter if you fit yourself in a non-white box that you think will make yourself acceptable to white people, because he's clearly spellbound as I see it. It doesn't matter if you fit yourself in a non-black, non-white box, they still see you as black and just put you in the section as related to bootlicks. And again, this is just, again, repackaging of bootlicking, a repackaging of bootlicking, where he's looking to, again, look to gain acceptance and find a gateway into being accepted by white people by saying that he's non-white, because these people already know their biases, and there's no need. Then they're not even gonna be about hiding it. They're gonna be emboldened about it. They're gonna be emboldened about it. So again, they're open about their biases, and they've been open about their biases, whether it be Biden or Donald Trump. Again, these racists basically their system of white supremacy goes on year after year, regardless of political party. And the whole thing is they don't want to include you at all, whether you call yourself a person of color, a biopic, or any of that. When it comes down to black, we're not included in any of those groups, because the people of color are basically just as anti-black as the white supremacist is, because all of them want to gain benefits from the system of white supremacy. So Malik Yoba, again, just doesn't have a clue about anti-black racism, and he doesn't have a clue about the subtle politics transpiring around him. And his statements show how as a part of Hollywood, he's not living in our real world, not living in a real world that black people live in, and understand the politics of all of this racism, and that the foundation of it all is all anti-black racism. Now, if you want to learn more about the spellbound mindset that guys like Malik Yoba are in, you can pick up my novel Spellbound on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. And in that book, I talk about how guys like Malik Yoba want to fit themselves in the black boxes that are acceptable to white people, and want to be, again, fitting into that box so that they can continue working in the system of white supremacy. And if you want to learn more about the subtle politics transpiring around us regarding race in America, you can pick up my novel The Temptation of John Haynes, and that book basically talks more about all of the subtle politics that goes on in this country regarding racism in this country, in a story where a man is tempted by the devil and in the devil's quest to take his soul. And if you want to see me make more videos taking celebrities to the barbecue, you can drop a donation to the Patreon, the PayPal, or the Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Coming to paperback and e-readers, Esteemed Season of the Witch Girl. The aspiring angel takes on a wicked teenage witch in this action-packed, all-new Esteemed series adventure. Pre-order your copy of Esteemed Season of the Witch Girl at Amazon.com and other online booksellers. Support Black-owned and Black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.